Now, what you need to understand, though, is that sometimes we need to improve our skills. So the do it well part, sometimes we have to get better at what we do before we can make it fun. The reason I put those two together, do it well, make it fun, is because a lot of people were doing programs on humor in the workplace, and I said, you can't be fun in the workplace if you're not already good at your job, because people just roll their eyes. So I think we have to be good at what we do first, and then they add the fun. Now, I'll give you an example of this. I don't know how many of you ever served on a church committee, but I got asked to be on a church committee a number of years ago, and I went to my first meeting, and I came home and said to my wife, those can't be Christians. It was the most contentious group of people I'd ever met. They argued about everything. But I'm good at committees. I'm really good at being a committee member. That's one of my gifts. So when you're good at being committee members, you get asked to be on all kinds of committees. So I got elected in my church. I was Presbyterian, not too far from here. I went to a church not far from here. I got elected to the Board of Deacons. The Board of Deacons were the social workers in our church. We delivered flowers to people. We visited people at home. We sent cards. And so it was a 3-year term I got elected to. So I go to my first meeting. Now, I've worked in hospice all day long. And then I go to my meeting that night at 7:30 at the church. And the meeting ended at 10:30. Now, I don't mind a long meeting, but we weren't getting anything done. I mean, the discussions in that meeting were things like, do you think we should put the get well cards on this shelf, or should we move them over here where they're a little bit easier to get to? And I said to my wife, I can't take 3 years of that. So I went back to the next meeting and said to the chairman of the meeting, put me on the agenda. I've got a proposal for you. So he put me on the agenda and got to the end of the meeting, and he said, what's your proposal? I said, here's my proposal. If you can end this meeting in less than an hour, I'll dress like Vanna White and bring you a dozen roses. I had just been in a talent show. I had the outfit. The people in that committee looked at me like I had two heads. And then they became possessed with getting that meeting over in less than an hour so they could see me dressed as Vanna White. We went from 3 hours to 2.5 to 2 to an hour and a half. The closest it ever got was an hour and 5 minutes. Because if it looked like it was going to be close, I'd throw out something controversial. Come on, I'm not an idiot. I don't mind dressing like Vanna White, but I'm not paying for any roses. That's ridiculous. But see, we weren't good at the meeting. We weren't managing our work. We weren't doing what we were supposed to do. Running a meeting, there's an art to it. There's a skill to it. And we were just showing up and talking forever. And we learned we needed to be better at the skill of running a meeting.